Come on, folks. How we feeling tonight? Come on. I need to hear some energy. I need to feel some energy tonight. Come on. Gather in, gather around, people. It's that time again. We all know and love them. Come on. It's time for the Spurs. Come to your airwaves. I also want to take a moment and, of course, tell y'all to go ahead and give a round of applause for yourselves. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And that's what's most important, right? Isn't that right? You're with a close friend, loved one. When it comes to Spurs, I don't know you guys personally. I mean, I don't mind getting to know you guys personally, but I don't know you guys personally. But still, give a round of applause for yourselves. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'll be happy to take it away from here, people. Welcome to the show. It's De La Spurs. I'm coming to you guys live on a Wednesday. You can see from the title of the live, a little bit of a different type of show today, right? Luckily, we have a match day on the day I go live, so you guys get to see kind of what my reactions and my emotions are right after I watch a game. So it's going to be an interesting show for sure. But I just want to go ahead, welcome you guys to the show and everything. It's De La Spurs Live. We're going to be talking about, of course, the result. Bournemouth getting the win against us late in extra time. A strike by Stamino. I'm going to get into it all, what we did right, what we did wrong, why we lost. Like I said, you guys are going to figure out kind of how I look at the game and analyze, especially with it being today. Usually I have some time to sit on it. Usually have at least 24 hours with me going live on Monday. We play on a Sunday or on a Saturday. I even have an extra day to kind of sit back, watch the game. But now you guys get my instant reaction. I'm at work, of course, so I don't get to, I don't get to necessarily get to sit there in front of my big TV and watch it in great detail, but I have it playing on my phone, and I get to watch a majority of the game. Try to do it around my lunchtime as well. So yeah, watch the game and everything, and you guys can kind of get to see my reaction. But first, of course, before we do anything, before we get into any of that, I'm gonna ask you guys to go ahead and do the logistics. Like the live stream, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on X. I think I have my X in the description as well. Go ahead and do that for me, please. Like I said, I'll be posting whenever I'm going live, giving my live thoughts and comments throughout the game. So if you want to get more of my thoughts or more interest or more of a perspective into how I'm looking at things, go ahead and follow me on X. You can also put the notification bell on, either on YouTube and or on X, so you know when I'm posting. You can go ahead and see when I'm posting, and most importantly, you'll see where I'm going live. That's the main thing with me, is going live. So yeah, you can see whenever I'm going live. Like today, I had some issues getting out of work. Had some extra work I had to do, so I didn't leave on time. There's traffic, so I was setting up everything late. The live stream didn't even pop up till like 6:15. So some of y'all might be joining in late, but hey, that's the world, that's the life. So I posted, I'm running late. It might be late, but I'm gonna broadcast to you today. So if you want updates like that, if you're looking forward to De La Spurs and you just kind of tune in around the same time every day on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X so you can know exactly when I'm going live and when I'm doing these things. We're going to be trying to add more content to the channel as well. I know I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned a little bit of parlay or gambling predictions. I may look at a couple of lines of some games coming up tell you what I think. Of course, you don't have to listen to me. Of course, put money on whatever you want to put on, but just some of my perspective on things, as well as just talking about some other things in the Tottenham Hotspur world. So, like I said, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment as well. Hit a like on this. Share this with your friends, family. Let them know De La Spurs is coming to you live, folks. I go live around the same time, so go ahead and share this with your peoples on the Facebooks and in the X/Twitters, on YouTube, Instagram, Snapchats, all the social medias and everything. Go ahead and do that. Appreciate it. So we're gonna just go ahead and just break this down into everything. I mean, first, of course, we have to get into this. What did we just watch? I mean, first off, hold on, let me get the other thing. Where is it? Here we go. What did we just watch? I mean, I cannot believe that we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna go over everything. I'm gonna start off with the lineup and all that, but I just kind of have to get this off my chest. I mean, first off, let me just say this. There is absolutely no creativity in any of these players whatsoever. Not a creative bone in their fucking body, from what I can tell. What I saw in that first half, and I want to say this as well, because I know I was someone who was hyping up on the train, the Xavi Simons train, right? And I think, coming into the situation with Spurs, it wasn't the best situation, right? I don't think it was we were necessarily we were in a good position. We had a good platform, but I don't think that when we brought him in, we had any intentions of him making him that solid number 10 figure to lead us forward in the future. I think it was kind of more of an opportunity that presented itself and we took it. And I think he is a good player. I really do. But I don't really think he is clicking here at Tottenham. I don't think he's clicking with the players. And ultimately, I think the platform that we had, I think he's slowly realizing that platform is not what is not what he expected. And right now, I think he's struggling a lot. And I think that correlates to the team as a whole, really, because there's no creativity. But I highlight him because he's the person who's supposed to be creative for us, especially with Kudus out, especially with James Maddison out. He's like one of our few and last creative outlets, actually, and it's still not clicking. So there's no creativity in this team, right? I don't want to say there's no fight. We've seen this team have some fight before, but there's no backbone. There's no responsibility. There's no accountability from this team to get together and say, hey, we gotta get back into this game. We just went down 2-1 in one half. Let's go out there, kick some ass, get back into the game, and let's fight. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. I would say maybe a captain has to come in. Maybe I don't want to say Romero. I don't want to say Van de Ven, because you could tell Van de Ven today, he looked like he was losing his head out there. For real. Like he was yelling at players. He was pushing players over. He was shoving players. Like he was upset. And I think he's starting to see the cracks in everything now. So he's not necessarily showing the leadership qualities, right? You have Romero, who I never really think shows the leadership qualities. I think he's an emotional guy, and I think the team can pick up on his emotions. So when he's wanting to drive forward with the ball, when he's wanting to do something for the team, everybody's like, yeah, Romero. But I don't think he's actually in that locker room showing the leadership qualities. I don't think he's actually going in there taking responsibility, taking accountability, or pointing out to the players it does take accountability for. So I don't think there's any creativity. I don't think there's any leadership of this team. To be quite honest, we just wait for these sparks of brilliance from these players that we have to do something. And maybe from that spark of brilliance, The team may get inspiration to do some more, but it never seems like it comes from a player. It never seems like it comes from within. It never feels organic. It's just like if it takes an overhead kick to get the team to wake up and try to get back into the game, I don't know. It's like, why should it take that? Why wouldn't it be the fact that you go down to 2-1 in the first half? And other than the goal you created, you pretty much had like no other chances, no clear-cut chances you've created. Like, I don't know. It's just a little strange. But let me go back to the top. Let's go to the top. We're gonna first start off with the let me get the let me first start off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and look at the starting. Pull that up on Sofa Score. In the back and goal, we had Vicario. Out wide, Pedro Porro and Jed Spence. And in the center of the defense, we had Van de Ven and Christian Romero. In the midfield, we had Rodrigo Bentancur and Palhinha, with Xavi Simons up in the 10, the attack of midfield position. Up top, we had Matisse Tell and Lucas Bergvall up wide, who Bergvall did eventually go off injured. And then we had Kolo Muani. Now, let me just say this. As far as like the squad and what you could say, what's our best lineup that we could put out there, I think that's pretty strong. I don't think you're going to really, unless you have some personal favorites in the squad or you have some idea of a different formation completely, which some fans do. I don't really think you're going to be able to I don't really think you're going to be able to find a better starting 11 than what we put out. So to say that we put out a starting 11, it looks good, in my opinion. I think it looks good. Then let's see here. Pretty much for the subs. So Bergvall obviously was subbed out due to the injury. Richarlison came on. He provided a little bit of spark when he did come on, and then we had Archie Gray as well, who is just some legs in the midfield to help try to provide that energy, keep it up in the midfield. So I think starting 11 is not that bad. I don't really think many fans were upset about the starting 11 unless you just don't like the formation that we play, the 4-2. Well, I guess that's a 4-3-3. I guess, but yeah, if you had a different formation in mind, then that's probably where you differed. Going next to the first half versus the second half. Now, for me, right, we got a goal in both halves. So, I mean, that's, I guess, a positive if you want to say that. We got a goal in for both halves. In the first half, we got that early goal, Tistel, right, who I know I'm particularly hard on. So I'm glad he went out there and got the goal. Give him the credit for that. To be quite honest, I don't really think he did much after that. He did give the ball away a couple of times as well. But when you get that goal and you contribute to the game, I guess you can kind of get that pass a little bit. And I don't think anybody's expecting any sort of multi-goal, whatever performance from him. I think they just want him to contribute when he can. So he did. Got to give him the credit for that. But it was after that, after the goal, that I think was the biggest issue. And I think ultimately what led to us losing this game is that in the first half, and I remember seeing on the time mark, and it was like around, I want to say like 12, 13 minutes. We're sitting there, we're playing on the ball, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Bentancur slowly jogging with the ball, putting his foot on the ball, looking for pass, telling players, oh, go here, go here, go here. And I don't necessarily mind the communication out on the field, but why are we trying to slow down the game and acting like we're trying to kill off the game only 10 minutes in? It doesn't make any sense to me. And the exact thing I said in that moment ended up happening. I said, we are trying to slow down this game way too early. You need to be in the first 20 minutes. You should be honestly looking to see how many goals you can score. Yes, you're weighing up the opposition. Yes, you're seeing what they're doing. Yes, you're trying to look at the movement. Yeah. All that tactical stuff. But as far as on the offensive end, your attacking players and what they need to be doing, Their goal is to be getting however many goals they can in the first 20 minutes. Because in a lot of situations, you go up 2, 3 goals on a team in the first half, first 20, 30, 40 minutes, right? It's way easier to kill off the game than going one goal up and then saying in the 10 minutes, all right, let's start killing it off, boys. Let's start milking the clock now with 80 minutes left. And you know what happened when we did that? We conceded. We conceded, I think, like 5, 10 minutes after that. So honestly, that's a mark on Frank, and that's a mark on the players, because that's up here. That's a mentality thing. That's a mentality thing of, okay, we got the goal, we can relax now. The tension is broken. We can just kind of play our football. No, you can't. No, you can't. You need to be out there. You need to go out there and get the second goal. You need to go out there and get the third goal if you can. And then you sit back and you watch the opposition and what they're going to do. And then you can kind of sit back for the rest of the half if you can get 2 or 3 goals, right? But if you only get one goal, this whole foot on the ball, like we're prime Real Madrid or Barcelona, we can just pick out our chances whenever we want. So we're just messing around with the ball since we got the early goal. That's not this team. And we're not good enough to do that. Those players need to be running their ass. That's another thing as well. You think killing off the game, you think with how the mentality is that, especially after getting that first goal, okay, we get the first goal, it's early in the game. Yes, we made some runs, some sprints, but it's like, I know those players have way more energy to then just start sitting on the ball, not really move, not really have any movement, start to be stagnant, think more defensively, not get out of position, right? It's like the first 10 minutes of the game. You should be energized. You should be. I don't know if they drink Red Bull. I don't know what they do I don't know what they got, but whatever that energy thing, whatever energy they get from beginning of the match shouldn't be wearing off 10 minutes in. And you shouldn't be ready to just settle on the ball. Those players should be jumping, moving around, sprinting, still making these runs 10 minutes in, even if you are 1-0 up, even if you are trying to kill off the game or milk some clock in the first half. There should still be energy. There should still be pace. There should still be a mentality of going. But it's like as soon as we scored that first goal, we turned it off. And that's how we conceded 2 goals. If that's how you want to blow a lead, if you're a manager, right, and you're looking through the manager textbook of how you want to blow a lead, that's how you do it. In that little classroom, the professor talking to all the wannabe managers and stuff, he's gonna play a video of Bournemouth versus Tottenham that first half. He's gonna say, hey, this is how you don't handle the first half. This is what your team does when you don't want to win. This is what you do when you want to concede a first half lead. Is you sit back as soon as you get the ball back from scoring. Is you sit back and you don't do anything. So we concede. We go 2 down, right? To be quite honest, that second goal, you're looking at Christian Romero and Van de Ven again. Evan Nilsson just falls in between them. A cross comes in. Nobody's around him. It's in the back of the net. Granted, it was a great header. We'll give him that. Can't give away easy goals like that, especially if we're trying to do this whole sit back and be defensive. How is it that they're just able to pick off a cross like that? Just boom, right there. 2 goals in one half. I know this Bournemouth team is very offensive. They play very open because they like to create chances. They like to get on the ball. But I don't know. It just felt very weak. Mentally, it felt very weak. It felt like as soon as we got the goal, it was, all right, let's just get into the half with the goal. And if they don't score, if we went into that halftime 1-0, you would have seen some stinky football in the second half. Are you kidding me? Oh, my gosh. They would have just fucking sat on the ball if they had to. They would have put the ball in their shirt and just walked around with it if they want. They would have done the most stinky, time-wasting football ever if they were sitting on a 1-0 lead going in the half. I know it. So we go into the second half, right? Right? Going into the second half. We have more possession. Okay, that's great because you're going to need possession to create chances. I think what we saw a little bit more, and to Frank's credit and the players' credit, I think the second half display was honestly what I was looking for in the first half, but definitely was one of our more offensive halves of football, right? I think we're putting more crosses in. I think we were trying to create those chances towards the end of the second half. I think towards the beginning we were struggling a bit. We were on possession, but I think we were giving the ball away a lot as well. So um, it was kind of like a mixture of the two. But I think, okay, we started getting those balls into the box, right? Set piece opportunities. But yeah, we get that ball into the box. João Palhinha, amazing goal, hands up. I have to give it to him. That was a great goal, bicycle kick. That was a great goal. We gotta come on now. That was pretty good. That was something. That was something. I think that's just part of I think he has that in his locker as far as the skill he has. He's not good enough to do that in every game. I don't think he has confidence to do that in every game, but I think he definitely, when he has his opportunities, he wants to show that off. So I have to give him credit for that because that was a great goal. Gets us back into the game. It's 2-2. All right, so let's stop right there. Let's just stop right there. It's 2-2, right? 2-2. Game's wide open, right? In your mind, as a fan, you're thinking, all right, it's 2-2. There's a great goal. You see the players, the energy, the passion. They're getting their heart back. They're getting their groove back. Let's go. Create the chances. Put it in. Do more. And to be honest, we had our chance. I think Richarlison had a couple of headers. One hit the bar. We created our chances, right? But then you could tell it started getting to a point where towards the end of the game, okay, and then boom, 9 extra minutes, right? And I do want to mention this in the second half. There was the Bergvall injury that is going to hinder us. It's going to hurt. It sucks because I think a lot of fans, a lot of the Bergvall fans and the fanboys of the young players on the team were excited that they were getting that time out there on the pitch and everything. But he's hurt, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Odebear came on for him in the second half. I don't really think he necessarily showed too much, but it is what it is. So back to what I was saying, right? End of the 90 minutes, boom, 9 minutes extra time. Probably because of the Bergvall injury, he was sitting there. Sad to see, right? 9 minutes. Okay, what is your mentality in this 9 minutes? As a fan, I'm sure you're thinking just like I'm thinking, right? I'm still going for it. I'm going for it, baby. We had nothing in that last 9 minutes, to be quite honest. I don't think there was anything that we could have done. And I got the sofa score here. I got the sofa score here. So let's see what we let's see on from 90 minutes on. I got the little things, the little instances, the little live commentary things, right? 91st minute, fourth official announced 9 minutes of added time. Let's see here. Foul by Christian Romero. Bournemouth wins a free kick. Bournemouth, shot blocked. David Brooks for Bournemouth, shot attempt, blocked. 94th minute. 95th minute, the goal with Antoine Semenyo. 97th minute, the foul by Xavi for Tottenham. 97th minute, Bournemouth wins another free kick. 98th minute, Matisse Tell, he wins a free kick. 98th minute, Bournemouth, they win a free kick. There's another substitution, just trying to kill out the time. Antoine Semenyo gets his whatever hand clap of praise before he goes to Man City, right? A shot in the 100th minute, misses to the right. There's a corner. Don't do anything else. That's it. So other than a shot in a corner in 9 minutes versus Bournemouth, who had what? From what I counted, at least 2 shots. One of the, well, maybe 3. No, one of them was blocked. So 2 shots and then the goal. 2 shots in the goal. We only had 1 shot in a corner, right? So to me, I don't think we fought hard enough in those last 9 minutes. And I don't know if that last 9 minutes is necessarily if that's Frank's on the team weighing on them, or if in their mind they were saying, hey, let's just not concede a goal here. But God, it's like it's just like Dr. Tottenham. Dr. Tottenham, Dr. Tottenham, paging Dr. Tottenham. We have a team that hasn't won in 12 games, right? We have one of their best players going to a bigger club, and it's his last game. Can we get a last minute Cinderella winner from that guy and get this team win in the very last minute so you guys can't do anything? Thank you, Dr. Tottenham. Thank you. Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's you can write it in a book. You could write it out. If you gave a 4-year-old and you told him the situation, he would write it out that way. If you gave it to a teenager, they would write it out that way. If you gave it to a Bournemouth fan, that's exactly how he wants the game to end. How can Tottenham always be the team that is like we're always gonna be that team that's in the newspaper when you're in that town for the team that wins. We're always gonna be that team in the background. When you're ever in the newspaper, you see a team's winning something, or there is a great player, there's just a great moment that feels good amongst the fans from a win or something like that. When Tottenham's always the team that's in the background with their heads held down, hands on their hips. I can't believe, it's us again. Like, it's just, and what I will say, moving on to this next thing, did Frank get it right? I mean, what I'll say is, he comes in, and one thing I will give him credit for, and I honestly don't care at this point. Like, I know if you go back to my previous videos, it looks like I was protecting Frank in some way, but I don't care. If he loses the job, which is going to happen at this point, I don't care, because there's no plan from the ownership. There's no natural progression in wanting to move forward with this ownership. They don't plan anything. They don't look forward to anything. They're just here, and they just want Tottenham to exist and the fans to just kind of be meh about it so they can continue making their money. Like, that's all it is. So, but the one thing I gave credit to Frank for, right, is that he came in and he said, hey, I just came from Brentford, which is a team that's in the same city, that probably has to utilize the same resources, gives you the same pitch, we're in the same location, but yet their recruitment was run better. Some of the staffing was better with the medical staff, and the coaches were better. He was calling these things out, which I had to give him credit for. I want the manager to call those things out, because those things need to be brought to the fans' attention and to the media's attention and ultimately to the owner's attention, right? But what I don't like from Frank, and what I don't get, is when you have a situation where you have a club where the mentality and the sentiment and everything around the club is they flop. They lose when they're supposed to lose. They win when they're supposed to win. And a lot of the time, they're supposed to lose. They lose games they're not supposed to lose as well. But it's like, again, with this Bournemouth situation, right? You think as a manager for Tottenham, okay, and I hope managers think this way. I hope somebody at this club thinks this way, is that we have a Spursy mentality. So we come into this game, it's this player's last game. He's going to be up for it. The fans are going to be up for it tonight. Let's go out there and let's try. It's going to be hard to match them. So let's just go out there and let's play our game and rise to the occasion. No more of this trying to settle for things. Let's just hope we don't lose by this much. Let's rise to the occasion. Here's a perfect opportunity. Their best players leaving. The fans are going to be up for it. Let's rise to the occasion, Tottenham. And Frank's mentality is, God, I hope we don't lose. I'm trying my hardest. I'm almost damn near losing my mind talking to these players and to the media every day, trying to tell everybody I'm just trying not to fucking lose. Thomas Frank is saying, I'm just trying not to lose these games because I don't rate these players. He didn't rate Brendan Johnson. He didn't rate Tell. He didn't rate whoever you want to say. He didn't rate them. That's why they're not playing. And not only does he do that, he says, we're not good enough to win like the fans want, so I'm trying not to lose because I saw the last guy lost a whole bunch of times, and then he lost his job. So if maybe I cannot lose as much as the last guy, maybe I'll keep my job. Like maybe he in his mind he's thinking of the basics, right? The last manager tried to play all out attacking. They won a trophy, which is great. That's fine. Players weren't good enough. What he was doing was unsustainable. He lost his job. So if I try to do that and I see that it was unsustainable, if I try to carry that in to next season, it's going to be unsustainable. I might not be able to manage it, and then I'll probably lose my job. So maybe in his mind, he was saying, if I can go into this approach of making sure try to make sure Tottenham don't lose every game, maybe I can keep my job and maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. But as a fan and as somebody who's watching, it's hard to see a game that's up for grabs like that and to see the team just try to take on what an American term I say in American football, take the knee, right? Do a punt, which is something you do on fourth down when you're just kind of conceding the ball to the other team because you don't think your team is able to get the first down yardage. So you just give the ball to the other team before you have to try again and forcibly they take the ball from you, right? So it just feels like it was a bit of a punt from the team and Frank. And I understand in that moment, it's kind of hard to get a message out to the players when there's only 9 minutes left and the crowd's jeering and they're up for it. It's kind of hard to sit there and tell the players, hey, I want you to believe in yourself and I want you to go out there and I want you guys to be the best damn Tottenham team you can be. You hear me? I believe in every single one of you. I want you to get up. It's hard to get that message out there to the players out there on the field, right? So, like, did he get it right? I don't think he got it right as far as how we handled the first half. Did he get it right as far as the second half? I think we were better. But I think that second half, it's just like, what do you do, man? What do you do? You have Richarlison coming off the bench as your most offensive. Just think about this. Just think of the status Richarlison was at when we first bought the player, right? When we were buying him from Everton, it was, okay, he can play second fiddle to Harry Kane. He's not a bad striker. He's got, 8, 9? I don't know if he's ever gotten 10 goals in a Premier League season. You can look it up, but if he has, he's maybe done that maybe once, twice. Not a bad backup. Harry Kane gets hurt. He'll be able to slot in for the 6 to 10 games and maybe get a goal, get some goals for us when Harry Kane. We also have Human Son. We also have these other players that we can rely on as well. That's when we first bought him. Now, I didn't agree with the price tag with it being 50, 60 million, but that was the mindset. That was the mentality. Nobody was ever saying that this is going to be the leading ace into Tottenham's future. This is going to be the best, almost one of the best finishers we have at the club. Nobody had that expectation. But here we are, 2026. And Richarlison, we're hoping and praying that Richarlison can come on and do something for us. Just think of how far we've fallen as a team and as a club. Richarlison, who was a backup to our world-class striker who we thought could just come in for maybe not even 10 games to just do a little bit here and there for us. Just be the body up top and try to head the goal or try to head the ball in the goal. And now he's coming in as the ace striker, one of our top goal scorers in the last saving grace, the only ace we have up our sleeve as far as attacking options in games. That's just such a drastic drop. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about, right? Like, that's crazy to me. That's just Richarlison, man. Richarlison, the pigeon. The pigeon. You remember when he was doing the pigeon thing? But I mean, did he get it right? Just to answer this question and just kind of to wrap this up, man, I'd say no, he didn't get it right. Didn't get it right. I think we could have won that game. I think that's 3 points that's dropped. And ultimately, as much as you want to say the team had a better performance than we've shown in other games, it wasn't after we got that goal. I think there was a switch off on the players. And I think it takes, as much as that is on the players, a manager has to come in, recognize that, and wake them up. And the thing is with Frank, and what I've seen, he looks like he's a nice guy, right? When I hear him talk, like, no offense, it doesn't look like English is his first language. So maybe he can't just go out there and just, But that's what you want to see from your manager. Your team concedes 2 goals in a half. The manager better be damn near on the field, pulling the player by the collar, grabbing him by the ear and saying, hey, man, get your shit together. Get them in line, go into Romero, whoever the captain was, grab him by the back of the neck, say, get the players in line, get some semblance, get some structure, get some solidity. What the hell are we doing? And whatever player, whoever comes by the sideline at that time, he better be giving them a death stare and yelling instructions at them. Like, you want that manager to kind of give that kick in the ass your team needs when you obviously see everybody out there is falling apart. So for me, that was a moment for Frank to step up, not only with the game in and of itself and with the Spursy tag and just getting the team to try to respond to some adversity every once in a while, but also in those moments where it's like you need something from your manager. That's when you need the manager. As much as managers now just want to be best friends with the players and just want to, come on, what did we talk about? We just talked about this in the locker room. What do we say? What do we do in these? Okay, tell me how you feel. What are your feelings right now? This is how I feel. Can we come to a mutual agreement? Can we do? No. You need your manager to damn near smack the players in the back of the head. Say, wake the fuck up. You just conceded 2 goals in what, like 10, 15 minutes? Wake the fuck up. Start passing the ball, right? Yeah, if you guys are isolated, midfielders, get your fat asses down the field to the defenders, play some 1-2s, help build up the link-up play. Players up top, I want you running figure 8s, circles up and down the sideline, right? I want your socks soaked with sweat by the time you come in at halftime. I want everybody to be out of gas because I want to see some. We need something. And the manager just didn't do that. Frank just sat there. At most, you see him just, come on, guys. Push up field, guys. Come on. Come on. They're just moving the ball around. Move up field. Come on. Create some pressure. That's a small stadium, by the way. And those microphones are right on the sideline. We should be hearing Frank, get your asses down. Hey, wake up. Wake up. Something, man. Something. So in my mind, he got it wrong. I'm sorry. That's what it is. He got it wrong. He got it wrong. Thomas Frank got it wrong. He got booed again. I just keep. I haven't had to get. He keeps getting booed. Honestly, some interesting scenes though. I must say. After the game, Van de Ven walking up to the crowd and he having some words with some of the fans. The fans having some words back, and I think you could kind of see him when he was running around today. I think he was losing his head a little bit. I think some of the cracks are starting to show of just how much this is actually wearing on the players, how much this is actually maybe starting to divide the players a little bit. Here we go through this cycle again, where it's like it feels like half the players are with the manager, half the players aren't. You got your 3 or 4 players that are going out there and giving their all, and you got everybody else that's either complacent. You know, they know that Frank is probably going to lose their job, so they're not really listening to him probably now at this point. They're probably expecting him to get fired in the next upcoming weeks. So they're probably not even like, here we go again with this. But I thought that was interesting because I think that was the moment, similar to what we saw with the last manager. It's moments like those where you see, all right, it's not all good in the hood right now. And it's you know, it's almost about that time. It's almost about that time. Frank. Woo. Frank. Come on, Frank, the Frank engine. Come on, man. It's about that time, Brody. It's about that time. So I just thought that was something interesting. Another interesting thing that we saw, and this was before the match, what people are talking about this is this Arsenal Cup thing. So let me kind of approach this right, because I am a fan, and there's going to be some fans who have a more mature take than I have. But to be quite honest, if I was as tribal of an owner as I am as a fan, I would damn near fire him. I would fine him for like half his pay. You, the manager of Spurs, holding an Arsenal Cup. I don't give a fuck that you're not looking at the cup. I don't give a fuck they just played there. I don't care if you had to sip the water out of your hands or drink it out of a fountain. You don't fucking hold an Arsenal Cup. Ever. Ever. Ever in your life. I want you to pretend like that shit burns your hand like you're a vampire and you touched the cross. I would never, ever want to see my manager holding our rival anything with the rival emblem on there. Unless it's being burned or being dropped into a wet turd, I don't want to see anybody associated with Tottenham in that team holding anything with the Arsenal badge. If I was an owner, if I was Frank's boss, I mean, as much as he wants to sit there and tell the media, I can't believe I have to deal with this. Yes, you have to deal with that. Imagine if a Manchester United manager was holding a Manchester City towel around his neck while they were warming up. Imagine that. Imagine if imagine if Liverpool, right? Imagine their manager had a Manchester United hat on, and he's like, they didn't have any hats. I'm having a bad hair day. I just put this on. It doesn't matter. I'll wear it backwards so people won't see. It absolutely matters. And then at this time with Frank, when the PR is bad and things aren't really, the football's not looking good for you, homie. And it's like you think for a time for your PR team, if managers even have a PR team, but for the people at the club at Tottenham, Frank himself, the people around him, if there's anybody that's managing that PR, they're telling him right now, buddy, one, that was the number one thing you couldn't do. And two, you handled that wrong. You should have apologized. You should have said, yeah, and I get it, you lied. Oh, I didn't see what was on the cup. You know damn well he knew what was on the cup. Those people knew damn well what was on the cup because you know those were Spurs people that were there that handed them the cup. So you got a whole bunch of Spurs people who were probably handing out those cups to other Spurs member staffs with the fucking Arsenal things on there. He handled that wrong. He should have apologized. He should have said it will never happen again. It's something a Spurs manager should never do. I've upset the fans and I apologize. It's not in my nature to do these things. He should have gone all out, hands, knees on the ground, staring at the ground, apologizing. This whole I can't believe I would have to answer to something like that. Oh, yes, you do. Because things aren't, there's other shit that we could talk about that aren't going well for you, buddy. This is just on the top of the list of bullshit that's going around right now for you, right? We could talk about the whatever media rumors of an emergency meeting happening for you next, tomorrow. But right now, let's just talk about this Arsenal Cup situation. Let's just talk about, you can't, it's so crazy. Out of all the things, he could have walked out on that pitch with no pants, no underwear on, with socks and cleats on, and would have gotten by with the Tottenham fans more than holding an Arsenal Cup. He could have walked out with the shirt and the jacket or the hoodie or whatever the hell he wears, and just bare balls out, everything. And Tottenham fans would have given him more grace than him holding an Arsenal Cup. Are you out of your mind? You can't do that. You can't do that at any club. At any club, you can't do that because it's another team, right? If there's no Tottenham cups, then fucking get a water bottle with Nike written on it, or fucking drink out of your hands. Do something. You don't take the Arsenal Cup and then ask for forgiveness later. You just can't do that at Tottenham. You can't do that at Tottenham. You just can't. Especially in a year where you've already lost 4-0, 4-1 to Arsenal. And they're probably going to win the league this year. And you're walking around now, there's a picture of you. There's a picture of it. A picture of it with you with the Arsenal Cup in your Oh my God, bro. You're not helping yourself. They're about to, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thomas Frank, you're not doing yourself. And Thomas the Frank engine. You're not doing yourself any favor, buddy. You're not doing yourselves any favor, buddy. And at the end of it all, you fucking lost the game. You lost the game. So it wasn't, if you won, maybe you could say, oh, I can't believe I had to deal with that. It was just whatever. We went in, won the game, did the business, and got out of there. I wasn't thinking about it. And you go in and then you lose the game. And then you want to come out, oh, well, I don't even know why we're talking about that right now. Okay, let's talk about how you lost. Let's talk about how you lost the fucking game. Like what? Thomas. It's always something with this club, right? It's always something with this club, man. I swear. I need to get some water after that. That's a good laugh, man. Real quick, in this last little bit, I got his post-match, post-conference interview thing. Let's get these quotes up. So I just want to highlight some situations, some questions and answers that I thought were kind of a little iffy. So let's first talk about the let's just start off from the top. So they asked Thomas Frank, it felt like a game you had chances to win, but obviously it must have been so frustrating to lose it at the death. Thomas replies, definitely. It's very tough to sit here right now. Haven't gotten anything out of a good performance, which some people will still debate. We started well, got up 1-0, conceding 2 goals in the second phase, set pieces, especially the second one. We must do better. But I really like the character in the team from the players. They gave everything. In the second half, I think we were completely on top and kept going even through disappointments and small setbacks we talked about before. We worked very, very hard with the players and the team on that. We don't score. Inside the post from Richie, overturned penalty. We keep going, getting the equalizer 2-2. After that, I think we are closer to winning than Bournemouth, the Mickey header, and the other good opportunities. So to sit there after conceding in 5 or 6 minutes of extra time is very painful, very tough, but that's football. That's the margins in football. So obviously, he wanted to give credence, wanted to highlight the positives in the second half. I don't blame him for that. I think he needs to – you don't want to call the players out, right? But I think he needs to call out what that meltdown was in the first half, and that was a meltdown. Just saying that we must do better, conceding 2 goals on a second phase. No, you conceded 2 goals in like 10, 15 minutes, right? That was a complete meltdown from the players, and I think he should have called that out. Not necessarily call out any players specifically, but like just been like, yeah, and conceding those 2 goals was very disappointing because that's, that's something that can be stopped with a couple of thoughts, thinking, and communication, and whatever you would want to say. But like that's some things that can't be helped on the field, and kind of put that on the players a little bit. And he could have taken some accountability too, saying that I should have got that message across or something like that. I think he could have addressed that a little bit better. Let's see what here. Oh, about the cup. So, Thomas, we have to ask you about an unfortunate image before the game. You're holding a cup. It's got Arsenal branding on it. Presumably, it got passed to you. Did you just notice that it was on there? Thomas replies, I definitely didn't notice it. Okay, lie, deny. I think it's fair to say that not winning every single football match, it would be absolutely, completely stupid of me to take a cup with Arsenal. Anyone thinking I've done that or the staff has done that, they've Arsenal, last opposing team at Bournemouth, been in the changing room in the game before us. It's normal to take a cup, give me an espresso, do that before every game. Okay, if it's normal to do that, then get a little travel mug with you that has the little Tottenham emblem. Don't sit there and rely on the other teams to give you cups with their branding and shit on it. How about you get a cup with some Tottenham branding on it since you're the Tottenham manager, right? Since you're going to be here for a while, right? Maybe you should get some teacups or a water bottle with the Spurs logo on there. The fuck you mean is, and the staff didn't hand it to you. Okay, then who handed it to you? And if it was Bournemouth, then you should have said, I don't want this because it has Arsenal branding on there. Horrible answer. I think it's actually a little bit sad in football. I need to be asked a question about that. What do you mean it's sad? Your football sucks. So if you want to move it back into the football, you lost the game. How about you? You lost the game, sir. So we're going to talk about how you lost and we found you with that Arsenal cup. What the fuck are you talking about? This is what I did. This is the stuff. It's just like, bro, what are you even saying? You need a PR person. Someone from the club needs to put their arm around Frank and say, hey, dude, you're doing a shit job of talking to the people and representing yourself as a Tottenham manager. Let's just role play a couple of scenarios for you. Oh, what? Because I said role play. Oh, grow up. Grow the fuck up. Seriously. But no, let's role play some scenarios. We go through some stuff because he's terrible at answering questions. And then you can kind of tell that it's starting to weigh down on him. So I think he's going to get even snappier and snappier in these replies. What do you mean? I think it's actually a little bit sad in football that I have to be asked this question. At any point in time, any manager that's holding the cup with the branding of their biggest rival's team's brand on there, they're going to be asked questions. They're going to be asked questions. That just happens. It doesn't matter if you were in England, in Spain, Italy, Turkey, Belgium, Switzerland, Poland, whatever league you want to go to. If that ever happened, right, fans are going to notice it. You could take that into different sports. You could take in any facet. Hell, take that into a different business. If you're at Microsoft and you have a cup with the Apple, the little app, the Mac Apple on there, they're probably going to fire you. Or you're going to get suspended, or you're definitely going to get a talking to. if you work at Google and you have a backpack that has Bing written on it or Yahoo written on it, they're gonna grab you into they're gonna pull you to the office by your ears and tell you what the hell are you doing. So it's a terrible answer. It's a terrible response, to be quite honest. Just to finish it out, I think we're definitely going in the wrong direction if we need to worry about me having a cup with another logo of another club. Of course, I would never do that. That's extremely stupid. But you did it. You would never do that, but you did it. You did it. So I don't understand the fuck. It's a terrible answer. Terrible answer. And then last but not least, he talks about the last goal. On the winning goal from a defensive point of view, how did you see that goal? Thomas responds, the easiest thing to say is you can never concede that. I think our goal against Sunderland, as I look back, that we can never concede. Okay. This one, you can never concede it anyway. I need to watch it back. A little bit more calm-headed, of course, next time, but get everyone behind the ball. It's not like it's a transition where we have 3 versus 2. This was a situation where they were given everything, but then you finish on an angle quite far out from the side of the goal, which is not going to score every single time, but it did today. So the reason why I find that interesting is because, one, he says, at the very beginning of the quote, he says, it's something that we can never concede. It's something that you can never concede. But then you mentioned how you just conceded in the last game. So you conceded a goal like that in the last game, apparently. You say it's something that you can never concede. You need to watch it back a little bit more calm-headed. You need to get everybody behind the ball. This is something that you worked on before. You know the situation, right? You've identified the situation. You know how the goal was conceded. He could pretty much close his eyes, wear a blindfold, and pretty much retell how the situation happened. But you conceded the goal. His goals that we've been conceding all season long is goals from outside of the box. So you're saying in these interviews, yeah, I know it should never happen. It should never happen. It won't happen again. It just happened today. Well, you said that, against Aston Villa? You said that against what was it? Who scored from outside the box? There's a couple more teams. I mean, obviously Sunderland today. I think there was like another game where they scored from outside of the box. So it's like you're saying these things, but it keeps happening. And I just wish someone would just kind of push them on that point and be like, well, okay, but it keeps happening. So what are you going to do? What are you going to say to the players, actually? Not just you're going to watch it in the film room, right? Because You could say, you could watch us be absolutely shit at passing the ball in the film room, but we haven't seen that gotten any better either. So, like, what are you actually doing and saying to the players? Or are you just in the film room, right, with your coaches? You guys are just sitting there watching the game with a bowl of popcorn. But then when you go back out there on the practice field, it's just the same status quo, just doing the same things over again, right? That's what it feels like to me a little bit. So I just thought that was interesting that he's so ready to placate everything and be, oh, well, goals like that usually don't happen. We usually don't concede those goals. We work on things like that. So it's just something that happened today. It's been happening all year. It's been happening all season. We just conceded a goal like that in the last game. And you're saying, oh, that was just from today. No, that's not just from today. That's an issue with either the squad, the players, because they haven't been told or have been instructed how to defend the outside of the box, or that's something on you that you don't recognize. How you set up the team, you don't recognize that there can be danger in those areas. There's players that are willing to put those shots in from those spaces, and you haven't made the adjustments to counter that. So that's on you, buddy. You can talk about how you're going to go into the film room and watch it over and over and over again. You can talk about how you and your coaches, you got 17 notepads of notes from the game. But when we go out on the practice field, what are we doing to try to improve upon those things or to counter those things so they don't happen again? Or are we just going out there on the practice pitch just doing the same things over and over again? Which I elect is what's probably happening, because it just looks like we keep doing it, keeps happening, the same things keep happening over and over again. And again, that bigger picture, you can say the same things are happening over and over again with us being Spursy and losing in these moments. And when there's occasions you need to rise to, you're not even playing they are in the top 10, but you're not playing a traditional Big 10 team. You're not playing a traditional Big 6 team. So even if a team like Bournemouth, who's been playing well, it's a small club. You see how small that stadium is? Who gives a fuck if their fans get a little bit rowdy? That doesn't even that stadium's not even the size of the bottom bowl at the Tottenham stadium. So it's like, even if they did rise to the occasion and their fans are up for it and all that, you should be able to handle that moment, handle that pressure. You play with more pressure in front of your own fans at home than playing with the pressure of some jeering Bournemouth fans on an away game. So it's like, it's all, you could say it's all I don't know what the word, all it's I don't know what the word is. It's all a collective, I guess. That's a lack of a better term. It's all a collective towards what's been going on and what's going on up top with the club. And listen, I'm gonna continue to bang this drum, man, until that changes, until Enoch gets out. We're really not gonna see any changes on this level. You can change the manager, you can buy players. That will get us better results. That will get us playing better football, yes. But if you actually want to see progression in this club, you want to see this club actually go forward. So when we do have an opportunity when we do win a Europa League or we do win a cup, that we actually have a legitimate platform to progress forward and to move forward and to move up, instead of just plateauing and then going straight down. Just think about a similar situation to what we're seeing now with Pochettino. We hit a rise. We go almost to the top. We didn't win the final. We plateau. Then we collapse and go straight down. And right now, I say we're like right on the edge of going down, because I think as soon as we fire Frank, boom, it's going to go down. It's going to go down after that. We get rid of Frank. And I'm not saying Frank is like a linchpin. He's stopping the club from doing that. I'm just thinking it's going to be a sign of the end. It's going to be a sign of the end, because you're not going to have a manager. So you're going to have no idea how you're going to go into this next summer window, right? I think, in my honest opinion, as much as you have players like Bentancur and stuff who have been re-signing, I think he's going to want to go. Players like Bentancur are going to want to go because they're going to be like, why am I here? I can go to Italy and play for a team that pretty much finishes in the same spots on the table, but it feels better than this. I got better weather than this. There's better food than this over here. Like Van de Ven, the Romeros, right? They're going to be like, what am I doing here? Why did I? And they may not necessarily leave. They might not necessarily come out and say, I want to go. But guess what? Whenever those teams come calling, they're not going to instantly hit the reject button. Their manager's not going to say, actually, no, Van de Ven and stuff, he's committed to Tottenham. Sorry. Respect your time and everything like that, but we're going to pass. No, he's going to be saying, let him, bring him in. Let me hear what they have to say. And if there's an offer that he likes, he's going to take it. Because what does Tottenham have to counter it? What do we have to counter it? We can give you a pay rise, yes, but you're going to be in the same situation that you're in now. You're just going to be making more money. That's all we can guarantee you. Because there's no plan of progression. There's no plan from the ownership. So you're literally going to be sitting in the exact same fucking position you are now, except 3 years down the line and richer. So would you rather do that, or would you rather get richer playing for a better club and actually competing for stuff? And I know fans think, oh, well, players are they're mercenaries for money. They just want the money. They just want the money, right? No, that's not true. Look at Van de Ven at the crowd, going at it with crowd members. Players don't want to have to deal with that shit. Especially if it can be helped. Especially if there's just a plan from the ownership to change it. Players don't want to have to deal with that. The booing from the fans at home. Players don't want to have to deal with that. Playing this negative football on the Frank. Players don't want to have to deal with that. And they get cursed at when they don't win games. I'm sure they would love to say, well, how the fuck am I supposed to win this game when this manager is doing? I'm sure they would love to. I'm sure they would love to just go off on Frank for us. But like players aren't going to want to deal with that. And you can raise their wages all you want. They're not going to want to deal with that. They're not. They'd rather go to a club that's of smaller status, honestly. But if they're more competitive and if there's a better feeling around the club and they can offer wages similar to what we got, they would go to a smaller club. Like that's how bad it is, and that's how much of a nothing burger this club is cooking up right now. So it's gonna be we're seeing the very edge, right? We're on the roller coaster, right? And as you're rounding about to before you go on the drop, we're starting to see the tracks. They're starting to see no more tracks. And oh shit, we're about to go straight down from here. There's no more tracks left. The tracks are going straight down. And even though we may not be looking down at the ground, we know it's coming. We know the drop is coming. That's just what it is. That's just how it is. And if this ownership is not going to change and the fans don't want to do anything to get the ownership to change, I hope you're strapped in for the ride. I hope you're ready for the fall. I hope you're ready for the drop. I really do. I really do. And I really hope fans are ready for the drop. But hey man, that's it, man. That's the show, man. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, listening to me rant and cry and complain and be a little baby about everything. But I want to thank you guys so much. Like I said, this was a cool type of show because I usually don't do an instant match reaction or a match reaction the same day of the match when I usually live stream. So this was a special occasion. You guys are getting my fresh thoughts, my fresh feelings on everything. So glad you guys tuned in. Again, gonna go ahead and hit some of the logistics right before we go. Right, like this live stream. Hit subscribe on the channel. Put your comments down low. Let me know what you think about the game, about Thomas Frank, about Tottenham, or you don't even have to talk about that. You can just say, I had a good day today. I had a good taco, and paid my car insurance off. Like it. Hey, sounds like a good day to me. So throw your comments in there. Like I said, like this live stream, subscribe to the channel. I got other live streams you can watch. If you want to see some other opinions, I'm going to be doing another one on Friday, going live on Friday. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on as well so you can see when I'm posting about what I'm doing. I want to thank you guys again so much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. All right, get some rest. We got a big, bright, tough day ahead of us tomorrow. So go ahead, get your rest, everybody. And I will see you later. De La Spurs out.